Yeah, you see the mind, Bo, welcome. Mindset is like I want you to see. Bo, I'm glad you jumped. Maybe you haven't had, but mindset is like a garden. So if you do nothing with your mind, weeds will grow, right? So it means if you want to keep the garden good, growing fruit, growing vegetables, you have to do something. And that's why constantly we have to read, we have to listen to good stuff that is going to take us to the next level. If you don't grow your mind intentionally, it will definitely go down. So it's important that the two of you who we see a lot of future in, make this as an agenda. 1 hour every day should be to cultivate your mind. If you don't spend 1 hour reading stuff, you are just going to die. Yeah, period. No other way. You have to learn at least an hour a day to be at the same wavelength, at least not the same, the average. You have to be above average, the ordinary people. Otherwise, you'll become ordinary. Naturally, things are going to pull you down.
Now,
So you
why you
have
want
to
to be better
keep
than
going up.
ordinary?
Yes.
It's because ordinary is very bad. The
Yes.
ordinary is very bad, right? So I'll just tell a story here. So I'll just put the camera
Mm,
here. So just in case if Anastasia or others join, I can invite them. So the
mm,
story is this. I went to buy I went for car shopping. So I have the brochure.
mm,
So there's a in Malacca. I don't know it's so convenient. I've been staying here for almost 20 years. I didn't know the Toyota, BMW, Honda showroom is just next to each other. And the joke is actually I always drive past that place because but I never thought of buying cars, so I didn't know the showroom was there. So I went to Google Maps and I clicked where is the showroom. And like, oh, this place. I pass by there all the time. Okay, so let's go. So I went there and I'm like, okay. So right off the bat, BMW, I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna buy it. I just want a car to drive. And usually
mm,
where I drive is within this small housing area. So it's like past two traffic lights. Well, one traffic light. So it's I can walk there, but walking is I'm too lazy to walk. Cycle I don't have a bike. Plus I think cycling is dangerous because people here are crazy.
yeah.
So I like
Yeah.
okay, I just want a small car. Then I go and ask them. I say I want a small car, and they see the car I'm driving like yeah, the car you're driving is not exactly small. So nobody actually closed me properly, and I'm like, why? Why are these people? Their job is to close the car. Nobody close me. Actually, two of them actually sort of annoyed me. Like I wanted to buy and they're talking me out of buying the car. Like, ah, screw you, I'm not gonna buy. So I forgot what was the car, but the one which was very funny because I previously I suspected and I'm very sure about it. Now it's like yeah, I'm very but sure about this sentence. All the buying resistance, all the prospects objections and resistance don't come from the prospect, it comes from the seller. We created all of these objections, we created all of this resistance. Initially I didn't have a money problem. The moment the person asked me, oh, you want to buy this car your monthly income need to be 2-3 thousand ringgit a month, then I was like, oh yeah. I said that would be hard. That would be hard. Then he actually said, yeah, actually in this market, 2-3 thousand a month, 2-3 thousand ringgit a month, it's very hard. And I said, yeah, actually it's very hard for me to get that. It's very hard for me to get less than 5,000 ringgit. It's like what the hell are these people talking about? When he said that, I'm like, ah, screw you, I'm not gonna buy. Ah, screw you, I'm just gonna leave. It's so funny. I'm like, oh my god, that was one. Then the other car is like actually the car actually I like it. So the product I like it. I sat there, I was like, actually I gave compliments. Like, this car quite comfortable. Actually I gave him some buying signal, like it's more comfortable than the car I just test drive. What's the price? What's the price a month? Then he's like, depending on what's your down payment and how many years. So I said, yeah, 5 years. So it's very funny. I checked the table. On the brochure, here the cars, the loan is 5 years, 7 year, and 9 year. Okay.
Mm,
So I actually told him, 5 years, the other car that I checked is 1,005. And he's like, no, it's impossible, 1,005. Because this car is more expensive, it's 1,001. So if you are any closer who doesn't suck, you hear the buying signal like, oh, okay, the product is better than the other. So that's one buying signal. The other is actually I told him the shortest loan duration possible, and I actually told like they said it's 1,005. So it's like this person is qualified. He can afford the car. So just don't be an idiot and faster close the deal. You know what was he doing? He was standing there playing his phone, and I was looking at him. I'm like, you're supposed to ask me some closing questions like, so how do you want to start or something like that. It's like, no, he was like, so I stood there looking at him for 2 minutes, and he's like, oh yeah, so what's next? And I'm like, at that point I was like, screw you, just give me your name card. Oh, my name card, wait. So he went inside the office and go upstairs. I'm like, this dude, I think he didn't believe that I want to buy. So screw it, I'm not gonna buy. So I left. So I think 2 out of 3 salesperson actually pissed me off. It's like, what are these people doing? They're there to prevent me to buy. It's like, you better don't come and buy. Get lost. It's not a closer. It's a sales prevention team. They're working so hard. These people, and it's actually a public. It's actually a public holiday in Malacca. It's on Friday. It's a public holiday in Malacca. I know where you guys are. It's not a public holiday, but it was public holiday there. So I don't know like why am I getting this, and I'm actually I wear a shirt, I wear jeans, it's not like I'm wearing very very terrible. Yes, I wear slippers because I want to test the pedal all of this with what I usually wear. So that's why I didn't wear my shoes. So I'm like, why do these people just keep thinking that I don't want to buy? Oh, whatever, screw it, I'm not going to buy. Maybe I really go and buy a BMW. just just to spite at them. Then I'll drive past them and like horn, Bin Bin, screw you and your stupid car.
All right. Okay. So what do we learn, Max and Bo? What do we learn from that story? There's always something to learn. And this is something I learned from Sifudan. He says, whenever you hear a story, when you read a story, when you read something, you need to say, what isn't there for me? In that situation, what do I learn from that? So you get wiser every day. So anything, you take a minute, look back, say, okay, so within my context, what does that mean? So Max, we start with you. What does this story of Jay tell you?
Just from my perspective, from the buyer or the seller perspective,
Either way.
Both.
both. This story is telling me like, if I'm a seller, so if I'm talking to a prospect, I need to sense when they are talking about they want to buy, and I need to observe and listen, and easy to recognize their buying signal. So yeah, that's the point.
Okay.
That's why I get it. Buying
Very
signal.
good. Yeah. Yeah. So deep listening and jumping on that signal. You don't wait, but you just jump, take it, segue, and then build on that. Okay, Bo, what's your takeaway from this story?
So I mean, like probably the sales prevention team is like having some kind of bias or prejudice or something like that. They have some assumptions going through in their head, which affects their actions, right? They are playing their phones, they are not like moving on to the next step, they are not paying attention enough, right? I mean, it affects everything. So I think what we can do is that we don't want to make assumptions about our prospects. We just want to be like a clean slate, like every time we meet people, I suppose, so that don't make assumptions, and then be curious about the prospect, what the prospect is going through, and so on, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if there's anything else, but yeah, that's what I got so far.
Yeah, I think the law of expectation really applied that day, because they expect me not to buy, then screw you, I'm not going to buy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
He actually convinced me. paying. I forgot what's I think the monthly is what, 600 is about $150. $150 is a lot of money. Oh, it's a lot of money every month. He managed to convince me that. I mean, the way he said it, he closed me on that. Oh yeah, actually that I just bought the SEO course this morning, $300. Oh, so definitely I cannot afford to buy the car.
Yeah.
Too bad for them.
Yeah. So, but the story days brings very important because we're independent consultants. We work with clients. Whenever we want anything from the clients, if you have the spirit of doubt, you are going to project that. You are going to undervalue yourself, and you're going to project that doubt. And if you project that doubt, somehow it gets transferred to the mind of the prospect, or to their business owner, to whoever you are doing business with. So it's always good to take a step back and kind of run through all these mental issues, right? Because they always keep coming. Nobody is immune of these processes. So if you're going to have an engagement, just run your mind through and say, okay, any false thoughts in my mind before you get into even Sifu Dan does that, right? He just goes through his mind to see if there's any weed hanging around that could mess his thought process. So that's
Same thing if you go for a job interview, usually you want to make sure your car is clean. So I forgot where did I read this article. The person say when he interview his salesperson, the first or second question is like, where is your car? Let me go to let's go and visit your car. So he want to see how clean or how tidy the car is. Because if your car is very messy, it's like, no way we're going to hire you to represent our company. I forgot where I read that. If I wish I can remember, then I'll point it out. So the guy is so funny because I can actually go pay him cash for 2 cars. Like, I don't even need a loan. Just pay him cash for 2 cars. It's like, oh no, you can't afford this. You don't want to spend this amount of money. Oh, okay, yeah. I really don't want. Screw you.
Yeah. And I would share an experience. There's a time when I was working as a closer. There's a guy actually I thought that he wouldn't buy, but he ended up buying a 15K program. Yes. So I learned that actually. And it's a very, very common mistake we make because the human mind likes to make impressions, right? Okay, Bo, I don't think Bo is serious, right? I think Max is more serious. Now, because our filters are not always correct, that's why we have to always leave allowance that we could actually be wrong in our judgment. And so sometimes what you think may not be true. But so the best thing, like Bo, you mentioned, in conversations like that, we have to be a slate, really be and do our very best to assume that every person is going to be what we expect the best out of them. If it's a sale, we are going to close them, right? If it's a marketing program, that they will take us as a consultant to do the work, whatever it is. So we have to seek success, not use our own judgment to predetermine the outcome before the outcome actually comes. And that's the mistake I made. Then I was surprised. This guy bought in about 18 minutes, I closed him. 15K, right? And the other guys I thought were good, they jumped away, they ran away. I couldn't close them.
And
right?
this is what one of my friend in Malacca, he's a property agent. He actually said, he gave this interesting observation. He said during the property launch, when there's a new property, usually the developer means the people who want the business who want to sell the property, the apartments,
property,
they will usually have this free food, free buffet, free tours, free games. So they will invite anybody to come. This was before COVID, so it's a lot of open free food, free tour, free games, free whatever.
Yeah.
So he said how he know who to, because there's a lot of people there, and you are one property agent. Who do you know? Who you want to speak to? And if you waste time on a prospect with no chance of buying, you're wasting your time, because you need to immediately recognize, oh, this person is not going to buy. I need to say, oh, yeah, you need to jump to the next person, because there are a lot of prospects there. and you need to get a hold of the prospect before they leave the place. So one filter he shared is very, very interesting. So initially I listened, I was like, this is very counterintuitive, but come to think about it, makes a lot of sense. He said he will ask the prospect, what do you think about the property? He said the people who say, oh, the property looks very nice, it's very nice. Those who come with a lot of praises, say good things about the property, he know they will not buy. Those who say, oh, that room a bit small, or the toilet, I don't like this color. They say those who say stuff like, I don't like this part. He said those are the people who tend to buy. Then I was like, what the? Can you explain to me? He said, because we are giving free food here and it's not too terrible food. It's quite nice food. You see, people will come here. They come here just to eat your free food. So after they eat the free food, they just feel embarrassed if they just. So they want to make you feel nice. So they will just say some nice things and like, oh, okay, this place looks nice. Everything looks nice, but I'm not going to buy. Let me go home and think about it. Then they'll leave. But the people who actually imagine themselves living here, then they'll feel actually this room is too small. So that is where all of this. So actually, all they say, oh, this part I do not like. This part I do not like. Those are actually, he told me, it's a buying signal, but it's not obvious. It's counterintuitive. So when the worst prospect that you're going to get is the prospect who agrees 100% with you.
Yes.
It's the hardest to close, and even if you close, they might not know what the hell they want because they say yes to everything. You don't. There's no resistance. When you work together, they might turn out to be, oh, I thought you're going to do that. I didn't know you're going to do this.
Exactly.
Happened to me before. It's like
Yeah.
you thought you closed you thought you closed the best deal. Oh, like, this is so nice. Everything you say yes. Then after that, it's one of those nightmares. So this whole thing is like, it's very deceptive, and you need some experience, or at least somebody who can share some experience with you.
And one of the, just to build on that, as you speak to different people, sometimes objections are a beginning of the sales. Because they're objecting to some things, they're trying to put themselves, it's an emotional environment, right? Why don't you like this? Maybe the kitchen is too small. If it's a product, why do you do it 6 weeks instead of 8 weeks? Because they're already seeing themselves in that, whether it's a service or it's a product, they're seeing themselves using that. And so the objections come because they have to kind of accept the shortfalls and stuff like that. So you shouldn't get discouraged that they don't like this thing, but then speak to them or say, okay, what would make it work for you, right? So you should ask questions like that. If you had a chance to make changes, what would you wish, right? So those kind of things would be the ones.
Yeah, just to really drive this home. Okay, so you guys know I like to buy laptops every month, right? So if I see a laptop and I'm like, okay, this is trash. If let's say you are a sales, okay, now I know I'm not the average. If I go to a place, if I see this, I'll say, yeah, this is trash, next. But the normal person will say, yeah, this looks nice. Can I see another one? Okay, so what do the units which I say, I don't like this part. Actually, those are the ones I'm considering buying. So for example, it's like, hey, this, I'm considering buying this. Oh, it's only 8 gig RAM. I'm using 32. I wonder if it can be upgraded. So now I have a problem with this. For those who I don't even consider, there's no problem. There's no problem because I'm not even considering to buy. So we need to be able to recognize this, and you'll find yourself doing the same thing. It's like the things that you have one or two negative things to say, probably because you are seriously considering it. So I hope that is a good example for you to remember. So sometimes when clients or prospects, they give you like, I'm not so sure about this. What about this? I'm not sure if this will work. They ask stuff like this is usually, it's a good sign.
Yeah. So in that case, you allow them, you ask questions so they speak more. So you really understand what are their fears, what are their anxieties. So then you can say, suppose we move this, suppose I move this. Like, if they want, say, a particular kind of emails, and you say, okay, you said this, but I don't like this part. So a question could be like, what would make it work? What's in your mind? What do you expect? Right? So depending on the context, so you need to allow them to say what's in their heart, because you can only read what's in their mind when they speak out,
Yes.
right? So then it will give you a clue. Then you can counter that objection and then handle it and then close the sale.
Okay. Bob typed the question. How about you unmute and you can ask it?
Yeah, I mean, like I was like wondering, because you were talking about people who say yes to everything, who say, yeah, this sounds good, the proposal sounds good, how do we move forward, right? So how, like, and then you have an experience of like closing someone like that, right? You mentioned just now. And then like how do you actually deal with it so it doesn't like spiral into a mess or something like that? How do you actually
very simple.
prevent it? Or
You always do not say you are available to work immediately. I'm busy. Next month, next quarter. Problem solved.
and then like after like when it's time to talk again, wouldn't they be like the same person, like say yes to
Okay,
everything?
this is in HTC. We got a problem. Then you say some problems like, usually I don't do this. Usually we do not do this. Just say something like, let them close you. Maybe Gerald can elaborate on that. I'm not sure if that makes sense.
In that case, the context we need to give, the way the human mind works, if they say yes, 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 and there's no pain, it means the buy-in is very little, which means when it comes to operationalization later on, they could change their minds, right? Or because they have said yes, yes, the whole concept they have not understood it. So later when you're working together, they will begin to bring new questions that you're not prepared for. That's why a person who asks questions and you allow them to speak, you're able to understand what they're really up to. At that point, you can then decide as a business owner, like service provider, do I really want to take on this client? Right? So you kind of understand them more at the front end. Now, if you do not get to understand them at the front end, then they will present problems at the back end because the conversation has not been deep enough. Then you find that what looked like good deal at the beginning is actually not a good deal because you didn't understand them.
You do realize the Crystal videos, a lot of his qualifying videos, he will ask like, why do you want to buy this? Why do you want to solve this problem? Now, it really depends what they say this. Because when you ask questions like this, they can't just say, yes, I want this. So from there, you can determine a lot of things. I almost suspect that one of our clients did not ask this question, like, why do you want to buy a laptop? Instead of like, our laptop have 8 gig RAM, 256, 14-inch, we have Wi-Fi. Oh, yes. Then after that, he had problems. I suspect he didn't ask the question like, oh, why do you want to buy this laptop? Why you want to buy now? Why can't you wait?
Like the same thing, you provide email, you provide social media services. Why now? Why are you looking to go into Instagram?
A few why. Why this?
Okay.
Why now? Why me?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it
why now?
everything.
Why? Yes. It simplifies. Why do you need emails right now? Okay.
Right.
Why
emails? Why is it emails? Can't you do Instagram posts? Can't you do a landing page? Can't you do just like ask this? Now when you ask this, you will know if they really thought this through. Because most people they probably didn't. Unless you're talking with somebody with a level of sophistication that, no, I want email because I have a landing page, I have the ad. Okay, so what I realized is a lot of people, they opt in, but they didn't make a purchase. So our conversion here is very low. But if I manually reach out to them, then it's going to be high. So I suspect my automated email has a problem here. Unless they say that, don't assume.
Yeah. So now you see, by asking them why now, why this system, why not the other system, it allows them to speak more. Then you can say, in your case, Bo, if it's like emails, okay, What kind of emails are you looking? What have you used in the past? Right? So it gives you more context, because then you say, okay, suppose we do this kind of thing, how will that fit within your business? Right? Like for Max, because you are a social media expert. So suppose we do this, which one have you worked? Which one has worked in the past for you? And what were the problems? And things like that, those qualifying questions. Then, because if you ask those questions, they will know you know.
Yes.
Because the person who asks questions is the boss, right? And they will be willing to pay you more money.
And you're probably the
Because
only person who asks this type of questions, because most people do
Yes.
not ask these questions.
Yes.
Everybody will be asking how many words you need.
Yes. When do you want? Because they say, sir, when do you want? How many words do you need? How do you need it, right? So the format and stuff like that. Now, those are technical questions, easy. The first thing
Not
is
technical
ask
questions.
strategy.
Those are what we call the order taking questions. Like
Yes,
how big
okay.
you want.
That's a better word, yes.
How big you
Yes.
want the cloth? How many
Yes.
inch? This is
Yes.
like, why are you asking? But
Surface level.
most people ask this type of question,
Yes.
and it drives me crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So you should focus on strategy first. Because if you understand the strategy, you're understanding the business mind and the business environment and the reasons for past failure and past success. Then you can build on those. And they will instantly consider you as a higher level person and willing to pay you more. And you should feel more to charge more. And if they don't take you, then you don't worry.
The business owners who have a bit more sophistication, or they are at least maybe they are good at their art, they will be able to know you are asking better questions, that they will be able to see. If they can't, it's very good for you, because you don't need to deal with them. Come to think about it, when I buy the cars, three dealerships, nobody asked me why I want to buy a car. None, zero. Why you want to buy a car? Why now? What's wrong with your current car? What are you not happy with your current car? Nobody asked me any of these questions. It's like, what?
Actually, people will ask only order taking questions. Majority, they would say, okay, you want this car. Okay, do you like white or black? Do you like green or whatever?
Nobody even asked
Which
me
price?
what color I want. Nobody even asked me that. I forgot what they
At
asked
least,
me.
yeah.
What's your budget? Okay, that's not too bad.
Yes.
You have to ask that.
Yes.
But they asked me, like, nobody asked me why I want to buy a car.
Yeah. So you guys, as you're pitching, always start with why. Okay, always start with why, because why gives the motivation. It gives the room for the pain, for you to dig in the pain. And if you understand the pain, then you'll be able to paint them a future. And once they see pain, so it's heaven versus hell, right? When they see heaven, which is the potential of what your emails or whatever your social media stuff can do, versus their current pain. So if you talk with them about their difficulties, like Jay's car, what's wrong with your car? Why are you not happy with the car?
Oh, actually,
It's
a few
slow,
things.
it does this, it does. Okay. So how is that affecting your daily business? Oh, if I drop my children, I get stuck in the traffic, it heats, all those kind of things. Okay. So then, then you can jump onto what the possibility will look like. And so, for instance, if we send weekly emails and your conversion goes from here to this, what would that do to your business? How would your business look like? Things like those. And they will really know that whether it's social media, physical products, email, whatever it is, the mind concept of buying is the same. No pain, no purchase.
Yep.
So it's in your interest to make sure they relieve the pain by you asking intelligent questions.
And you want
and
to ask
then
them,
painting a picture for the future.
you need to ask them, like, why they choose you, why do they choose other people. When you ask that, they tell you how to close them, because when they answer why they choose you, they're actually telling you what is important to them, because there's so many variables, so many unknown. You don't know what is the thing that makes them want to buy, want to take action now. So for some, it's reason A, reason 1, reason 2, reason 3, 4, 5. There are 5 reasons. If you just guess, your chance is very low. But if you ask them, like, why there are so many people writing emails, why you want to approach me, They'll tell you, oh, because we saw you writing for this industry, because we have this. So from there, you know what's important to them. And
Yeah.
when you do this, even if you don't do anything, they're actually justifying why they want to buy from you. Makes it easier to close.
And then you use the words, right? So if they say, I really, the last time I worked with someone in the UK, but I wasn't happy because I see you come from Malaysia and we can meet face to face. Okay, so then it means proximity is important for them, right? So then you can use such a word and say, well, before let's assume we work. So how often would you like us to meet? Oh, I really would love if we meet monthly. So they're already living into the future. So pick the words and use it against them. Yeah.
That's why we close with our ears. You need to really listen what they're saying.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so disappointed when I go and shop for the car. Oh my god. The best closer this week, I went for shopping for a phone, a laptop, and a car. I bought nothing. The closest that I came was to buy a new phone. Actually, I went there and said, this phone is too heavy. I want a new phone. Then the sales guy actually, oh, you're having this phone. So this phone is roughly how heavy. This phone is much lighter, about 25% lighter. Then without me saying, she said, okay, what this phone can do, your phone can't. She gave me the comparison. Then I don't know what I did. She recognized, like, so she was going to propose to me two options. One, the phone was 1,200 ringgit. The other one was 2,000 ringgit. I don't know what I did, but she realized that actually I have the budget. So initially she was talking about the 1,200. Then I forgot what I really don't know what I did, but she picked up on it and it's like, this person, he can afford it. So she stopped talking about this. She talked about the more the 2,000 ringgit phone.
Advanced phone.
So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, out of so many people, actually that's the first. Well, actually, I also told everybody, it's like, yeah, this is not bad. This is quite good. Like, what is she doing at a shop? Probably should just resign and come work for us.
Wow.
But everybody else is disappointing. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, because they
Yeah.
were asking like order taking questions and
Yeah.
they don't really care about you.
They asked me, where do you stay? Like, what is it got to do?
Why?
What is it got to do with this? It's not related.
Yeah, right. I think like why they ask like order taking question is maybe they don't understand like the big picture. Like for example, I have like my videographer friend recently got got a lead or something, right, for his friend. And his friend has a construction company, so they need a sort of like a videography project done on their launch project, right? So it's like the company knows what they want, right? So the company, quote unquote, knows what they want and then approach my friend. So my friend right now is like an order taker, right? So I suppose because they want to use the video for marketing promotion, right? My friend didn't really ask like why they want to use it for, like all the questions that you mentioned just now.
Yep.
I suppose it's the reason why is that he doesn't know, like.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Has your friend signed the deal? Has the deal been concluded or still in discussion?
I think it's mostly done. It's like their his first paid project, so it's kind of like
he's definitely going to self-sabotage himself. I can almost bet 500 ringgit with you. He's probably going to self-sabotage himself. All right, so we just use this as a case study. There are going to be 3 levels of questions to ask.
Yeah.
Okay, so now instead of me and Gerald and me and Gerald tell you guys, how about you guys tell us? It's a quiz.
Okay, so the first one would be like surface level one, right?
Okay, example.
Like how long the video you want.
Okay, good.
And then like how many shots you want to take.
Okay, good.
The pictures, yeah, I mentioned.
Yeah, and what kind of angle you want to use.
Yes.
I would be surprised. Yeah.
And then like what else? Mm,
Max,
yeah, I
feel free to chime in.
yeah, Max, if you know anything, yes.
I don't know think any about videography, to be honest.
Okay, yeah, I think like the first level is like a lot of technical questions, right? A lot of specifics, stuff like that. And then the second level, um, I'm not sure like what's between like why you wanna do this. So I mean the third level is probably the deepest one.
Hero, why you want to do this is second or third?
It is second because third is feeling related. Yeah.
Max, what is the second and third? What category should we put here?
But I think it's like emotional.
Emotion would be number 3.
Oh, maybe number 3.
Yeah, that's why I say level 3 is mostly emotional. It
Okay.
is the outcome of the features and benefit, right, at the personal level. Yeah. So number 2 is business level. Yeah.
Okay,
so
business
that's-
level. You guys give us some example, then I'll just write it down. Let's say it's a video project, recording video project. What type of business level questions can you think of?
Okay, so
What result you are expected?
I'm not sure if that's 1 or 2.
Our result would be number 2. It's kind of business. So it would be 1 customers, more open houses, depending on whatever it is. Result is number 2.
and then like what marketing promotion, like what else have you done with this marketing promotion?
Yeah.
Then
It's not bad.
Yeah, guys are good. They're coming along.
Or you guys can just simply say the question, then you tell me what category, then we will see, if it's matched. Now you're going to close the video project. What type of questions you want to ask your prospect?
Why is this important to you? I think it's like, yeah, it's overlap with why do you want to do this?
Yeah.
How will this actually impact your business and life? I don't know if that's a question.
Yeah, impact would be more on the third. Yeah. When you say business, because if it is something more business, it would be impact tends to be emotional third level.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
because
was
if
thinking
it,
that's
yeah,
2, but
yeah,
somewhere in between. Oops.
yeah, it's
Max.
in between, but most on the. Hey, Max went off.
Yep. Maybe disconnect or something.
Yeah. And like maybe like why do we want to do this now? Like the
Why now? Yes.
Yeah.
why now?
Yeah, why now? Yeah.
Yeah, why me?
Why me?
And, yeah,
Okay.
and why this, right? So why do you want a video? Why not?
This? I think why this is here.
Yeah. Yeah, why this? This time.
Medium. Okay, right.
This
And
time, this medium. Okay, like it. Yeah.
Actually,
So
if you
like-
guys
like-
can ask this, it's already pretty good because most people don't even come here.
Yeah.
If you can ask this,
So
it's not
like,
bad.
yeah, like on 3, you could say impact on self and business, right? Yeah.
Right.
So because if the sales manager or salesperson, they will look good in front of the what? The boss, right? So they will feel happy. They could get promotion and all that. Yeah. So those are emotional level questions. So the reason why they have to get a good photographer at the third level would be look good before the boss, and that can promote, can lead them to possible promotion and all those. So this is why when you are selling things, you always need to know that there's a skin in the game. So if you help them to feel safe, that by working with you, you're going to make them look good before the boss. You are going to help them meet that emotional need, which is not making mistake, which is comfort, which is look good. Those are the most primary reasons. Some people would not buy something because they're not sure if that is going to cause problems. And then before their family, before their friends, before their business colleagues, before the boss, they will look bad, right? So you need to always be aware that there's that personal fear they have.
So I think for here, it's actually there are two types. One is they want to avoid a certain feeling.
Yes.
Or they want to gain a certain feeling.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll just take computers as an example. So I believe our client never addressed this. Like they are buying this because they can almost ask like, why the previous, you're speaking to us, why didn't you went with your previous supplier? Oh, because the previous supplier, they supply us XYZ, something wrong with it, they didn't solve it in a way that we like it, and I got scolded. Or the previous person got fired because of that.
Yes. Yeah. So level 3 is avoiding or gaining emotional something. Yeah. So it's 2 levels. It's avoiding or gaining. So when you are doing business, this will make you, even when you are writing copy, you have to meet this. So your copy needs to be able to have these emotional things. So the benefit of the benefit, right?
And I probably don't need to tell you guys, but just in case, you cannot write this will, you buy this, you look good in front of your boss. You need to imply it. The previous, this is our testimony. The previous customer, they bought this. So before this, they had a lot of doubts. They have a lot of like this, they was very worried. After they buy, now now the boss praised them for a good decision. The wife acknowledged him for stepping up. Let's say you're writing for some fake guru, some guru courses or whatever. Now the wife is the wife is proud of him. The kids are proud of him because he's now being a good dad. You cannot say you buy this, you become a good. You cannot say you buy this, you become a good dad. No.
Yeah. So by this, they were able to gain more time with the family and stuff like that. So those are level 3. So in copywriting, now when you're closing on the phone, you can say it, but copywriting, it has to be third person kind of, you use more or less like a story, right? To bring that out.
Yeah.
So, but it's the same really. Yeah.
But you guys can just get good with number 2. Probably will be very, very because frankly, when I close, I don't even use, I don't know how to use number 3 yet. That's me. So that might be, I'll still need to practice on that. I'm not, when you ask me to write also, I don't know how to write a lot. But if you at least have business level conversation, you are very, very different, because everybody else will just ask how many words you want, what color you want, red or blue. Yeah. And so this is a very, I think today's session is a bit different because it's like
because it's a different level, because they're good level, right? So we had to engage at a different level. So this for you guys are good.
Actually, this section is solving my question about coaching and consulting. Your last week homework. So I actually finished all of the videos. Now I'm seriously thinking, maybe I can step inside. I can play this game, like the consulting or the coaching services.
Yeah.
Now my obstacles is like my time management is very terrible right now. So
my time management is bad. That's why I'm a consultant.
Yes. Because since I'm working with 7+, and then my time is so blur between my active working time and my leisure time. I think my extra time is because sometimes
So have you tried time blocking?
Yeah, actually I tried. So, but it's very depends on my work right now because like I'm more focused on idea finding. So if let's say my target is not achieved by today, so I need to spend another extra 2 hours or 3 hours to look more ideas to create more
Now,
content.
if I'm you, I'll train other people to do the idea finding because I
Yes,
think I think it's a mechanical work. I don't think it's a creative work. I think it's a mechanical work.
well, actually, I seriously think about this. I want to hire
Mhm.
another person to do this,
Yeah.
but it's very difficult right now because all the content strategies keep changing, the direction keep changing every day. So yeah, that's why that's
Wait a minute. Is that you saying, or that's your lower self saying it?
There is some truth with it, but I think
Mm-hmm.
it's something that can be solved. I think it's something can be
Yes.
solved. So let's say direction. How many directions are there? Like 5?
I not really know what is the direction. The direction is like what I call it's like for today, they
Mm-hmm.
discover some new techniques. They want to use it,
Okay.
but after today, the result went down. Then we need to rethink another strategies.
Okay, so that is
So
the first category, the trendy, the very unknown, the type with a potential to hit some crazy numbers or just totally bomb. That's the first type.
mhm,
The
Mm-hmm.
second is what everybody else is doing. It's boring, it's predictable. The third type is our own or whatever it is. So you can have like a few categories. You show them what are the categories, and you tell them every day I want one crazy one, I want a boring one, I want this, I want that, I want this. Then you show them how to do it.
Exactly.
mhm.
The reason why I believe from the way you're asking the question, you're projecting your feeling onto, like, you're already saying like this is like law of expectation. Maybe they will not get it. Now, do you believe that you could actually train them?
I can tell you.
Wow.
I'll tell you that can be trained. That is something that you
Mm-hmm.
can train people to do. Idea
Yeah,
finding.
because I'm thinking if what I want to train this person, I need to spend
Mm-hmm.
more time. And
Ah,
then
there we go.
yeah, after I spend the time, I don't think the investment I make is worth it. It's really my ROI, my return of time, like it's investment is not that good. Yeah,
Now,
yeah,
now
that's my problem.
because then if you don't train, it means you're going to be doing it all by yourself. And I suspect part of the reason why you're feeling uneasy is part of the work is beginning to get repetitive for you. Maybe, maybe not. Um, because for some tasks like this, so you can say, you can agree, depending on their personality and their ability, you can tell them, I want you to focus on this kind of idea finding using this strategy. So you kind of allow them to specialize in one area first as you focus. So you kind of divide your role. You do something and he or she does something. So that way they get used to one idea, and then you bring another idea, but you guide them, right? So yes, it may take some bit of time, but it's not too much because then you're building the capacity so that tomorrow, then they begin to do what you are doing yesterday. And then you can go find new strategies and you come stuck on them, stuck on them, stuck on them. So you spend eventually after like 1 month, less time idea finding because you leverage their time.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Here is a very logical way of looking at this. Okay, I think my wrist is good enough. I can actually draw now. Okay, so this is going to be your this is the time, and this is the reward you get. Initially, you're going to spend, I'm not sure if this is the best graph. You're going to spend a lot of time, but just get very little reward. Initially, it's going to be you spending a lot of time. So initially, when you train people to do it, maybe you, I think this is totally the wrong way to present it.
It's
So
the
never mind.
opposite.
Yeah, so never mind.
Mm.
Just bear with the pen. So initially, you're going to spend
It's
10
yeah.
units of your
Time.
Okay, simple, 10 hours. To train somebody to do the work. But if you go and do it yourself, you only need 1 hour. That's what you're thinking, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, will this number of time will always be 10 hours every day, or will it be 10 hours today, 9 hours tomorrow, next week maybe 8 hours? Will it always reduce? Yeah, because number one, you will get better at training people. Number two, the people you train will get better at learning. So even if one side improves, this number will reduce. So there will come a time where they can do the work. Now, my target for people is very low. If they can do 50% of what I can do in, I think, twice the time, I consider this a success. Why? Because I don't need to get involved at all. Okay, so this is the mindset you want to have. Now, if you do not have this mindset, if you keep thinking, hey, why do I want to waste 10 hours when if I do it myself, I'll just do 1 hour. Then you will end up being like one of our clients and
You'll
just
burn out.
keep doing all the work himself. Until now, he's doing very, very big business, but most of the important
Work
work,
he's
the
doing himself.
thinking work, some is actually not thinking work. Also, he go and do himself. So we're like, what are you paying people for?
So he pays people in the company and does the work for them, and wonders why he's very tired and exhausted.
Okay, so just
Right.
to help you, Max. Now, idea finding. What are the work that is involved in the idea finding? What is the routine? Like every day, what are the things that you so you will log into what is the thing they call viral finder? Okay, what else?
I think this one only. Because another I use TikTok, your own TikTok or Instagram account, look for the idea. The only software is Firefighter.
Oh, okay. So what are the things that you're looking for? Slider.
And Reels.
Okay.
Yeah, these two only.
Okay. So can you list down the criteria of okay, so slider there are some that is fun, some that all has to be fun.
It's not necessary. It's like the first category is like it needs to be very very viral.
Okay.
And then something motivational.
Okay.
And then
There's a list, correct? I remember there's a list. There's
yeah,
like
there's
10
a list.
points. Now,
And
you can take the list and you can show people, you can record yourself going through like, hey, here are 10 sliders. This one, it is viral, it is motivational, but it is not. It is this, it is this, it is this. So you show them the list, you show them how to find. So you want to look for people who are good with pattern recognition. So that's an interviewing skill. It's a training. Sorry, it's more like an interviewing skill. You can actually use some IQ tests to find people who are good with pattern recognition. If you want to use MBTI, you are looking for somebody with an I as the first and second function. Well, this is the benefit if you're a personality not like me. But you don't need to know this. Anyone who is good at pattern recognition, they can do this for you. You just need to show them, hey, here are 100 of the sliders. You will record yourself reviewing, maybe not 100, maybe I think 20 is enough. You will review 20 sliders. So you tell them this is what you're looking for. So their job is not to find the slider for you. Their job is to find enough of this. They will filter the first round. So instead of looking at 100 sliders, you look at 20 that they filter for you. Instead of looking at 200 sliders, you look at 20.
Exactly.
So you get back a lot of time.
So they do part one of your work. That's why I said you divide the work into two. So you give them they do raw data stuff to filter through garbage. using your criteria. So once like when you're doing gold refining, right? Gold is in the rock. Somebody has to dig it. Right now, the digging, let those people do it for you. They give you rock that has gold. Then for you, and that takes away 5 hours of you buy back 5 hours, right? Then you have 5 hours to refine the gold. So if you can just half your time, you will be amazed by how sweet life is going to be. So just imagine they're the ones going under. In China, there's a lot of coal mining, right?
Most people,
so just they're the ones mining the coal.
Most people,
but you are the one selling the coal.
Most people, they don't delegate because they think the people cannot do the task from A to Z. They cannot do from step 1 to step 10. That's why I cannot delegate to them. So my question, my scolding is, which idiot asked you to delegate the whole thing? You can break it up step 1 to step 10. They can do one step, good enough. And the beauty of, let's say you make it to 10 steps, you can have 10 different people. One person's good at step 1, one person's good at step 2, one person's good at step 3. This 10 person, when they do the work, will be better than you. Because impossible, you beat everybody at all 10 steps. Everybody got different strengths.
Yeah. So my suggestion, Max, for you would be get one person, break the tasks into measurable places. Like you go to this website, these are the things you look for. Let them do from step 1 to step 4, step 5. Then hand over to you. Then you have fewer sliders or slides, whatever it is, to look through their work. I'm telling you, you'll feel much better.
Yeah.
And you'll do more actually.
One day, how many hours this take you? Is looking at Viral Finder.
Not include the meeting, right?
No, not include. No.
I can say it's 1 to 6 hours. I think
6 hours.
I start working at 5 hours. 5 hours.
Okay. So from 5 hours
So
become 3 hours. You get back 2 hours of your time.
Yeah.
Okay.
You give 3 hours to them, 2
Actually,
hours is your time.
Here's the idea. You still work the 5 hours, the person still work the 5 hours, but you accumulate that, so you have a lot of sliders. So let's say they need 3 sliders a day. I don't know, I just say the number. They need 3 from you a day, but with the person's help, there will come a time where you have 4 a day. Okay, so after 3 days, you realize you have 1 extra day, correct?
Yeah. So you can have a Friday off. Yes, exactly. This is what we're talking. So you can take a Friday off because you are accumulating. This is stacking on success. You remember, you're stacking like brick, right? So just let's do step by step. Get a good fellow. Somebody
doesn't have to be good. This one
okay,
doesn't have to be good.
No, but somebody you can work with. Where I talk about good is they must have basics, right? Their level of computer, their communication, and all that should be good. Behavior good, right? And willing to put their butt on the ground and focus. So once you have those preliminaries, get the skills into 10, whatever, 15, whatever steps are necessary for a dumb person. Now we break the process for the average person. They may not have your level of intelligence.
They probably won't have. Yes. So what is important for us as leaders is we need to be able to break this down in a way that people can understand.
Yes.
So our goal is not for them to do the whole thing. Our goal for them is to do one part of it, so we don't need to touch that at all.
Yes. Okay. So divide it into meaningful, simple steps. One major way of solving problems is to divide it into smaller parts.
Yes.
Which are manageable, independent of each other. It's like a chain. If you look at any chain, one chainlet, if you call it chainlet, it's no problem, right? So imagine all problems have 1,000 chains. So break it into 1,000 chainlets. Then you delegate each chainlet to this fellow to do. If he can do 50 of them out of 100, then you start processing and you'll figure some things out and you'll be very happy. So if you can get 1 day off and you work 5 days a week, you'll be good. Or 6 days a week, you'll be good.
And that is assuming the person is bad. It can only do 4 sliders that is good.
Yeah.
You know. If the one person spend, just hire two. As long as your delegation process is okay, you can work something out. And I think I've been thinking about hiring virtual assistants, so maybe we can share one or something.
Yeah, you guys can share a VA. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Cool.
it's good. It will do a lot of stuff for you. This is the day of VA, right? Go for it.
You can actually for you can probably hire somebody from Malaysia. A lot of people looking for part time.
Philippines, Malaysia or Philippines.
The,
Yeah,
the,
one
the,
of those
the
two
joke
countries.
the joke is Philippines and Malaysia rate actually is the same, to be honest.
Okay.
Philippines,
Okay.
the rate
If
and
the
with
rate is the
Malaysia is
same,
probably the
then
same. The good thing about Philippines is their English is much better than what you can get for the average Malaysia. Unless you hire
so then go.
college students who they are looking for like now I got holiday, I want to fill my time.
I don't want those kind of people for you, Max, because you are very
Oh,
time sensitive. So
okay.
because if you get holiday, they are not committed. The parent says, "Let's go to America."
Oh,
Done.
okay.
Balik America. So then you're done, right? So get somebody from the Philippines and those because those guys are mental oriented to work for people, and that's one good culture they have. So and you negotiate, give them something
Maybe
good,
we
and
can
they
discuss
will
that because
keep
I
you.
probably have something
Yeah.
I want to get a virtual assistant also. So yeah, we can
Yeah.
actually discuss that. Okay, so
Interview together, and then so that's good.
that's for today. It's very different. Okay, didn't expect the
And
car
I think
shopping.
this is good for them. I think this is
Yeah,
good for
yes,
them.
yeah.
I see their eyes are brighter, which is nice.
Okay,
So
man.
this is for you guys. Yeah, this is good.
We'll probably
Yeah.
continue this the discussions in WhatsApp or something, because we probably can do that. Then everybody can save 2 hours a week or 2 hours a day, whatever it is, and it's good.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
So guys, see you next week then.
Yeah. See you next week, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Jay.
Jay.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Jay.
Jerry.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
thanks.
Bye. Yeah.
Bye.